Alright.
We're captive on the carousel of time.
Oh no, I don't know Anthony's.
Yeah, but I've got like
references.
really it's a little
Anthony's
saying.
just,
They
like-
don't know. No, I don't expect people to know my references. They're just so eclectic. Anyway.
Remember this classic tune from the 1800s? And I was like, no, I don't.
Hello humans, my name is Dale Kingsmill and this is another episode of Memory Lane, the show where we attempt to grasp the stories that slip away from our minds unless we are in the middle of a conversation. It calls them to the forefront of our brains. With me here today are Anthony.
You know it.
And Nat. Who didn't do that.
I don't know how to follow that.
So if you don't know how this works, we take submissions from you all in the YouTube comments or over at reddit.com/r/MonarchsFactory of anecdotes from your life, things that you just wanted to share with us or that came to mind during a previous episode. We use that anecdote to kick off the conversation and then we see where that takes us for 10 minutes. We give ourselves a timer of 10 minutes and we see what stories come to mind. So, let's get to it. It's you.
Take it
isn't
away.
Got the hat.
I like this
Let's do this
safari
one
helmet.
that's stuck
Yeah.
to the bottom. Ooh, this is
It's
from
coloured in.
Reddit.
Hey-oh.
From Meta Archer. Oh. I remember when we were kids and we tried to break into the classroom. My memory is a touch foggy and maybe it was just you. Okay. I think it was at that point that my mother started worrying about us.
So, I'm gonna need to give you some feedback on that. Meta Archer is my friend Jessie.
Oh, okay.
Who-
Oh, so
Hey.
you meaning
Me.
you.
So what he's referring to here, Jessie and I were thick as thieves when we were in preschool and very early primary school. And the particular story that he's talking about there was we had a standard rule of no hat, no play at our school.
Okay.
And one particular day, Jessie, for some full reason, had his hat but left it in the classroom. And the way that our rooms were set up, there was the classroom, and then there was a little corridor outside where you had your bags and your hats and you hung them on hooks. And he left his hat in there, and the door had been locked. And we were about to go out to lunch, and his hat was right there.
Yeah.
But he didn't have it, and it was no hat, no play. So there was a sign right outside those classrooms that were just tall enough to get to the open window. So I was me, and I climbed up on the sign, and I climbed in through the window and went and got his hat for him. And I remember tossing it out the window, then climbing out and jumping down backwards and turning around and coming face to face with the teacher. She wasn't there 3 seconds earlier, I swear it. And I got in a bunch of trouble, and I got in the red book for that particular foray. But
Sounds bad.
apparently my excuse was it doesn't say anywhere in the class rules not to climb through windows. So that's the story that Jessie has mentioned right there. So that's our beginning anecdote for today.
We had that no hat, no play as well, and my friend Dobby is like, he's always been really short, he's probably here on me, so people used to think it was funny to take his hat and hold it like this.
Aww. He is very short.
No hat, no play.
Do you
So,
attack them viciously?
no, he used to stick his hat down his pants, and then he was like, no one wants to touch my hat, and then he put it back on his head, and that would work for a while.
That's wonderful.
But people eventually were just like, look, we don't care that you do this anymore, we're still going to steal your hat. So he got his hat and
Just
went,
let them wash their hands.
here, get it now, and flung it like a frisbee, and it landed on the roof of the school. So he had no hat and no play for quite a while.
Oh.
Did those bastards get punished?
What happened was, eventually we played cricket and the ball went up on the roof, and someone went up to get the ball and they got the hat while they were up there.
Hell yeah. That's how it goes. I was the person who always went out of bounds to get stuff that was out of bounds. Because I'm, again, me. Alright, we're going to give ourselves 10 minutes. Yourselves.
Oh, right, I thought
Not
we-
Yeah,
ourselves.
that's what I
It
was like.
started.
How dare
Do you want me
I
to
got
put
a
it to
story.
8 minutes? Do you want
Ah.
me to put it to 8 minutes? Or just still do
Well,
10?
I just
Well,
don't
wasn't
know how
that
much
long.
time we have
Yeah,
left
yeah,
on the
yeah,
recording. So,
yeah.
anyway, alright. We're fine. We're professionals.
Start.
Go.
Well, okay. What were we just talking about?
No
I've
hat, no
forgotten
play.
already. No hat, no play, and things going out of bounds. I was always the person, the same school building, again, like cricket balls would go under there, and me and multiple other people would go under the building to get the balls or whatever, and they would get caught, and I would just like stay under the building in the shadows until the teacher went away, and I would come out
Dollar.
victorious with the like tennis balls and whatever.
Sorry, just going under the fence reminded me. We had this one problem kid in the year below me, and he always used to leave class and dig this hole near a fence, and they would just like just leave him a lot of the time. They would just let him do it because he was a real problem. Like he kicked a teacher once. Like he was so they just let him do what he wanted. Turns out he was digging the hole to escape.
Oh,
One
my
day-
God.
Oh, boo! But
One day
As a
he
prisoner in a bus line.
finished the hole. Every classroom in our primary school had like phones in it that could just call the other rooms. And so we're just having a regular old lesson. I'm in year 6, and our teacher answers the phone and goes, "Stuart's where? What?" And then she runs out of the classroom, and we're watching it all unfold as every teacher gets the call and comes outside, and they're all one of them's trying to get under the hole. Like, you can go around, you have the keys. But yeah, so he just escaped under a hole in the
Wow.
fence and left the school.
That's that kid might be my hero. I'm not gonna lie. That
I
reminded
wanna
me.
know what he did.
Break.
That reminded me of 3 things. So now you have multiple choice. Okay, guys, because
Alright.
3 is too many. So I don't know what these are yet.
Oh.
But there's- so digging for things, or teachers being called out of the classroom to handle something, or my response to Stuart's where? Which one of those?
I kind of like the third one.
Yeah.
The third one's Stuart's where. This isn't even a full story. This was just the funniest thing.
So we can
When
do
we
two.
were in year 11 English, and we were in the middle of the class, like learning, reading, doing, studious things and whatnot. And then someone came and just like banged on the door a bunch of times and then ran away. Like we heard all these footsteps running away. And then the teacher like ran to the window and stuck her face up against it and went, "John Rhoda for sure." And like left. And that was all the information we had. And it became this running thing where me and a couple of my friends would constantly just be like, "John Rhoda for sure." And I'd forgotten about it for years until I
That's
went
funny.
and was filming a movie thing with her
Our
or
high
something.
school
Yep.
was attacked by Lebanese people with knives.
Oh,
It was like this
serious?
boy that he was just a troubled child, and anyway, he must have done something to annoy them, and they came like with knives. And one of the teachers, like, we were all just like on the oval watching, because everyone's just curious. And like all the teachers came. One of the teachers came up, and he goes, "They got knives!" He was Scottish.
Oh.
And I can't even remember what happened, but they were pretty much just like, "Oh," and then they just left. So nothing happened.
Well,
But yeah, that was a big like
wow.
I was gonna say
hoopla about nothing.
what was his name? John Rhoda.
John Rhoda.
John Rhoda.
John Rhoda for sure.
Yeah, well, see, there are kids that are on the radar like that, and then there's kids like me who are like, we can do whatever we want because people are like, yeah, she's a good student. She never do anything.
That's nice.
We had to film
That was a combination
this.
of those 2 things.
Yeah, like I always flew under the radar. So we were filming this thing for like some sort of assembly for school. We got time out of class to film something. And instead, we filmed Corpus Christi High, which was a satire of Summer Heights High. So like we just started filming some other random stuff. For the intro, is the intro of Summer Heights High them running through the school?
I honestly don't remember.
Don't remember? I think that might have been it because we were filming the intro to our school. So what happened was I got a wheelie chair from the computer labs upstairs, brought it downstairs, and I was sitting on that with the camera while one kid pushed me through the school and I filmed us running through our high school. And so we're flying past, this is in class time, so we're going past like all these people in classrooms. I'm on a wheelie chair yelling, "Faster, faster!" And we're filming this thing. And people just look and they're like, "Yep, alright." Like I
I
just,
just trust you
It's
guys.
fine.
yeah, they trust
It's
We
fine.
got to do videos too. I forgot about this completely in year 6. I
That's
didn't even
what
know.
this show is for.
Yeah, but it was great. So I think you got into groups of 3 or so, and you got to make a video or something. I can't believe I forgot this. Yeah, and so me and my friends Danielle and Christopher, we made this skit where it was pretty much a parody. It was pretty much copying. There's this Mr. Bean episode where he does karate with a guy, and the sensei, he like runs behind him when he's going to attack him, pushes him over, then rolls him up in a mat. And we did that too, and it was really good. And then in the credits, we were singing Kung Fu Fighting. So we didn't know how to get tracks off the internet, so we were like, Kung Fu Fighting. Yeah, we did that. And I'd never heard the song, so I just like went with it. But yeah.
It's beautiful.
I wish I could find that again.
One of the clips, one of the things that we used to do that I talked about in another episode, how my school was weird and we learnt in ideas. One of the ones that we did in year 10 mixed science with 2 other things, and we were looking at when you measure pH levels, and we had to do a video for that. That was our assessment, to do a video. It had to be like a crime drama that incorporated the knowledge we learnt in the science component of this.
I'm so into
Wait.
that idea. That's so great.
Why is your school so cool?
So my group was me, this other kid we used to call Stickers, and who
That's
else?
a great nickname.
Why?
He
he
got
had
it in
stickers?
primary school. And I
I
think it
loved
was a bit of an
primary school
insult,
stickers.
actually.
Aww.
Oh.
Yeah.
But without the insulting
But he went
context,
by it.
it's a cool nickname.
Yeah.
Stickers.
No, he introduced himself as that in high school because I didn't know him.
I
in
say that
primary
though
school.
as a person who has never had a nickname.
Dickens would be one of the soldiers that like sadly dies in a movie that
Oh,
everyone
it's
grows
so
to
true!
love.
Oh no, okay, back to the story. I'm
Stickers,
getting
yeah.
sad about fictional stickers now.
So me and Stickers and someone else, I don't actually remember who because there were a lot of people, butting in on everyone else's videos. So we were filming this. Stickers didn't want to be on camera, so he said, I'll be the dead body. So he was lying on the floor, and we're filming, and I'm like the cop, and someone else is the cop as well, and we're like crowding around this dead body for the, the investigating scene where we've discovered the body.
Crime
And
scene stuff.
one of Stickers' friends, Kevin, came over, didn't realise we were filming, and said, hey Ben, here's this this homework that I helped you out with. Here it is. And he gave him a sheet of paper that he could fill out his homework, and Stickers, who was meant to be a dead body, got up and went, shut up, Kevin! Can't you see we're filming?
That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard.
And then he just went back to it.
I wish I had the raw footage.
And I think,
Can you
I
imagine?
don't know that we actually filmed the whole thing again, because I remember handing in the final product and our dead body moved a lot. He was twitching, scratching his arm.
I got to.
Can you imagine
just
having that
there.
footage in the age of Vine? How big that would be if that was on Vine? Oh,
Oh,
gosh,
my
yes.
hard drive crashed. At
I'm
the
a
end.
viner.
Shut up, Kevin.
Vine is
Kevin,
great.
we just
I'm a
doing-
master viner.
Doing him a favour.
But yeah, we did like a random play, because we never did plays. This is why I remember it from primary school. And I got to play someone that dies, and I can't remember why. But all I remember doing was like, I brought back my memories of whenever Bugs Bunny used to die and over exaggerate. And I was like, oh, and there was like agony! And like, I was screaming out things like, oh! Oh, that was just me doing my overacting.
Big throwback one. Back to those students who their name has like a recognizable element to it. My favorite thing was we had morning notes that would be called out during roll call classes, and there was this one that started that I took note of because the name was Davis Lavis. It was like, Davis Lavis, you have to come and pick up your bus pass, right? And then over a series
His
of
parents had a sense
months,
of humour.
it was like a year that it just kept, it was still there for such a long time. And then the ladies in admin started making the font bigger and bigger and bigger until it got to the point where it was like half the page and it was a font that had like flaming words. Davis Lavis, pick up your bus pass from the front office now. And because I was late every day, I've talked about this in a video before, I was late every day to school more or less. And I would come in and I was good friends with the admin ladies. And then at some point I walked in and I was sort of handing in my notes and talking to them and chatting with them about whatever my ridiculous excuse was, like wildebeest on the highway or whatever. And then I turned around and I was like, oh wow, that kid looks miserable. What's he for? And they were like, we found Davis Lavis.
Do you think when Davis was naughty in the classroom, the teacher would go, Davis Lavis? And on that note,
So-
3, 2, 1, get ready.
We're master dancers as well.
I danced too fast at the
I
start.
really
I thought the music
You
was like.
it happened and you were done.
We need to do a Palmer Miranda fruit hat one day
Oh,
during
we
this.
do. Or we could make my turban scarf.
Talk about it.
My scarf turban. Yeah. Hey, So that has been Memory Lane. We've run out of time. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, if it jogged any memories of your own that you would like to share that might become the kicking off anecdote at the start of a new episode, you can leave those for us to read in the comments below this YouTube video, or head on over to reddit.com/r/MonarchsFactory and share them with us there. We would love to read them, and maybe yours will begin the next episode. Who knows? I have been Dale Kingsmill. You can find me on Twitter at DailyDale. I've got a bunch of other links in the description below. Anthony, where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube at The Russian Blue. It's a great channel. Love it. And you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at The Russian Blue. And please, come and join. Subscribe.
And that still doesn't have socials. Oh!
What did she just do?
She tried to be a vandal, is what she did.
Oh my
They
god.
don't have a sign off.
So you just have to break the camera?
Something.
Alright, just trying to break my equipment. I know it.
Well.
If you haven't already, you can
Davis,
subscribe-
leave us.
If you haven't already, you can subscribe to this channel for more weekly content. Apart from that, I do believe that's it. I'm done. Email this to your grandma, and we will see you some other time.
Live a good life.
If you had hit the lens, though, how good would that have been?
I know, but I'm way off.
Oh my god.